Goodman with the Sunderland team.
Tony Norman, age 34, goalkeeper.
On a couple of occasions, he actually kept us in the cup, you know. Although it's a team game, everybody would acknowledge that some of his saves have kept us in this cup run and got us this far. And there are a few bad dresses, and I'd say Tony is probably one of the worst. You know, he actually turned up to our bad taste Christmas party wearing his normal gear, so that says it all about Tony.
Gary Howes, 23, midfield.
He's got it all, really. He can pass, he can shoot, he can run all day. He's one of the fittest footballers I've ever seen. And that's probably why a lot of clubs are willing to pay in excess of £1 million for his services. His fiancée, Joanne Conway, has been helping him recover because he's had a nasty injury. He's done very, very well to get anywhere near ready for the cup final. His ice skating is also improving, by the way.
Anton Rogan, age 26, left back.
I think he's won 3 Cup winners' medals with Celtic already, so it's nothing new to him this type of occasion. He's quite an active lad off the field, you know, he's full of himself, like. Also, he's a lover of vests, as we all saw in the Chelsea game. He seems to always have his vest on the pitch, off the pitch. Everywhere he goes, his vest goes, so that's Anton Rogan for you.
Kevin Ball, age 27, central defender. Thanks.
He's a very, very tough tackler, and I can vouch for that. I've still got a bruise on the end of my toe from one of his tackles that he made about 2 months ago. And he's the same in training as he is in the games. His tackling is his strong point, and he's very, very committed. He's had a few disciplinary problems as Bally. I think this season he's got more points than what we have.
Gary Bennett, age 30, central defender.
He's a very cultured player, if you like. He's been around a while, and when I was at West Brom, I didn't used to particularly enjoy playing against Benno, but you know, I'm just glad to be on the same team as him now. Probably say the Mr. Cool of the club, and he's thinking of enhancing his image with a pair of clear glasses for some reason, even though his eyesight's perfectly good.
Paul Bracewell, 29, midfield.
Unfortunately, he's been to 3 finals and lost a lot, so we're all hoping it's 4th time lucky for him. He's the kind of player that you do miss when he's out with injuries because of his leadership qualities. The one thing I will say about Brace is his bad taste in shoes. If you put a pair of Brace's shoes with one of Tony Norman's outfits, you'd probably have a perfect match.
Brian Atkinson, age 21, midfield.
Since Malcolm Crosby took over, he's installed Acco on quite a permanent basis, so he's done ever so well. He's an England under-21 international, and I can only see him going from strength to strength. Very quiet lad as well off the pitch. I think the only way you ever get to talk to him is when his batteries on his Nintendo game have run out.
Gordon Armstrong, 24, midfield.
I think everybody's seen for themselves his aerial ability is literally second to none. He's great in the air, and it was some goal he scored against Chelsea. Off the pitch, he's a good golfer. He claims to be the best at the club, although I think he secretly fears Anton Rogan and his magic 7-iron.
David Rush, age 20, striker.
David Rush started his career off as a centre-forward, but recently he's got the skill and ability to play wide on the right, so that's where he's been playing in the FA Cup. Because of his sort of versatility, he often ends up playing back down the middle, and as we saw at West Ham, that's where he caused the damage when he was moved back into the middle. His nickname at the club is Trigger, after the character out of Only Fools and Horses. I'll say no more on the subject.
Peter Davenport, age 31, striker.
Lots of experience with Man United, Nottingham Forest. He's played in Europe, lots of big games under his belt, so this is another one for him to add to his collection. Very skillful lad, holds the ball up well, brings others into play. He's often criticised for being too unselfish, but I think he's getting out of that habit now and scoring a couple of goals. We call him Mr. Bean. He looks a little bit like the character, but he's far, far too intelligent to be a professional footballer, I would say.
John Byrne, age 31, centre forward.
Sunderland's cup success this season has obviously owed a lot to John Byrne and the goals he's scored, although he'd be the first to admit that it has been a team effort, you know. Bernie, he's got great skill, holds the ball up superbly well, and defenders, I think they're a bit frightened of him before they actually go out. He's our answer to Robert Redford, really. Thinks he's cool, and he's always on about his naturally dyed blonde hair. Claims it's natural anyway.